From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Rob Westgate. Prime Minister Mark Carney says nothing can fill the silence left by those killed in a mass shooting in Tumbler Ridge, BC this week.
When the cameras leave and the quiet sets in, know that we still will be here.
The Prime Minister spoke to a crowd of hundreds at a vigil in the community where people held photos of the loved ones they have lost. Carney took time to name and describe each of the 6 people killed at Tumbler Ridge Secondary School on Tuesday, 5 children aged 12 and 13, and an education assistant. He says the mother and brother of the shooter who were killed also deserve to be mourned. Carney says he sat with people who are living through something no one should ever have to endure, saying the community has always been defined by people who care for each other. He adds that's what Canadians do. We open hearts when the world falls apart. David Augustine, The Canadian Press.
A warning is being issued for several rural municipalities southwest of Winnipeg over the possible transmission of measles. Health officials say anyone who's visited public locations in the communities of Stanley, Rhineland, Thompson, and Dufferin, or the village of Roland, should consider themselves potentially exposed. They say there have been 22 reported hospitalizations in the province related to the measles so far this month, with 16 of those cases in children under the age of 10. The minister in charge of Canada-U.S. trade is set to lead a large delegation to Mexico next week.
Dominic LeBlanc will be in Mexico from Sunday to Friday with hundreds of delegates representing Canadian businesses, industry associations, and partners. LeBlanc says the mission's goal is to strengthen commercial ties and explore new opportunities with Mexico. He's set to play a key role in the upcoming review of the Canada-U.S.-Mexico Agreement on Trade. But U.S. President Donald Trump has called the trade agreement irrelevant and says it may have served its purpose. Diana Mussina, The Canadian Press.
Overseas now, where drone strikes killed at least one person in Ukraine and another in Russia ahead of fresh peace talks. Ukrainian officials say a Russian drone hit a residential building in Odessa and killed an older woman. In Russia, a civilian was reported killed in a Ukrainian drone strike on a car in the border region of Bryansk. Another round of discussions between envoys from Russia and Ukraine is set to take place next on Tuesday and Wednesday in Geneva. And finally, Valentine's Day could cost you a little more this year.
Chocolate prices are up more than 14% over the initial weeks of 2026, about double compared to the same time last year. That's according to the data intelligence firm Datassembly. The sharp rise is being blamed on a cocoa shortage caused primarily by adverse weather and crop disease in West Africa. The supply of cocoa has actually been easing in recent months, but analysts say chocolate prices remain elevated because manufacturers need to sell through candy that uses cocoa they've already bought. Mike Dubosky, ABC News.
This is the Canadian Press. In sports, starting at the Milan Cortina Olympics, where Canada's men's hockey team has clinched top spot in Group A, Connor McDavid and Nathan MacKinnon each had a goal and 2 assists as Canada defeated Switzerland for its second straight win. Canada will now get a bye to the quarterfinals after playing France on Sunday. The Canadian women's hockey team could have its star captain back when it hits the ice again. Marie-Philippe Poulin is practicing with the national team after missing its final 2 preliminary games with a lower body injury. Canada next faces Germany in quarterfinal action. Now we go to Olympic men's curling, where Brad Jacobs improved to 3-0, while Rachel Homan lost 9-8 to the U.S., falling to 1-1 in women's action. And finally, elsewhere, Toronto's Victoria Mboko will face off against Czechia's Karolina Machova in the Qatar Open tennis final, while Montreal's Felix Auger-Aliassime advanced to the semifinals at the Rotterdam Open. From the Canadian Press, I'm Rob Westgate.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.